long-range sensor arrays in the Trailer system went offline recently. Last thing they picked up before that happened was a Borg scout ship. I'm heading to Trailus now to investigate. If this is the beginning of a new Borg incursion, I could use some backup. Meet me there as soon as you can. Until next time. Thanks for coming. Been a while. You look well. Considering what I hear about your exploits, that's an impressive feat. Back to business. Spotting a Borg scout here made a lot of people nervous, and with good reason.
I can imagine.
So, some old friends called in a favor, and here I am. I came here looking for Borg, but the real problem turned out to be sabotage. Orion smugglers fouled up the long-range array, but they left the short-range sensors intact. I have plenty of evidence from the sensor logs to turn over to Alliance officials.
And the Borg?
Still a concern. If they're sizing up this quadrant as an incursion zone, we need to know about it. I have a few ideas on upgrading the sensor arrays, making them harder to disable and better at spotting Borg. Beam me over and we can sort out the details.
Very well. Stand by for transport.
With your assistance, I can complete the modifications quickly. Good. Now that we have a working array, our next step will be initiating the new security protocols. Hold on. Are you seeing this? The long-range sensors just lit up like a Dabo table.
Analysis?
Reading a massive energy surge. We're being scanned. Something's overriding all our control systems, attempting to bypass.
Shields up. Brace for impact.
Oh, that was unpleasant. Still, there are no damage reports, no casualties.
Where are we?
Scanning. This is unexpected.
Care to enlighten us?
According to astrometrics, we were catapulted several hundred light years from Trailus to the Excalibur system.
Excalibur. I seem to recall a few space legends about this place.
Here's some facts to go along with those legends. In the 23rd century, Excalbians abducted the USS Enterprise and subjected some of her crew to a series of combats. Some sort of morality test.
I don't like the look of this. Is it possible we're here for the same reason?
Feels that way to me. I doubt they dragged us all the way out here to have a ractogeno and talk about baseball. There's one way to find out for sure. Hail them and see what they want.
Lots of atmospheric interference on Excalibur. We can't establish comms.
I can boost the signal once the ship is in a standard orbit. Assuming the Excalbians are in a talking mood, we should have answer soon.
Agreed. Helm, take us into standard orbit over Excalibur.
We are receiving your signal. On behalf of the Excalbian people, I bid you welcome.
Intriguing. You resemble an ancient human leader of some renown.
That is a complicated matter, I'm afraid. I think it would be easier to discuss it face to face. We prepared a meeting ground on the surface of Excalibur. It meets your needs for atmosphere and climate, as I understand them. Will you join us there?
A gracious offer. We accept.
Welcome, friends. I do hope the local climate is to your liking.
The climate's fine. It's our abduction that we have a problem with, friend.
My apologies. It was not an action of my choosing, I can assure you.
Your presence is required for a matter of great importance.
Greater than conversations with dead presidents?
Long ago, the two of us were involved in a study, if you will.
An evaluation of two concepts, good and evil. The initial results were ultimately inconclusive.
The debate has continued since that time.
We now seek a final resolution.
What does that have to do with us, exactly?
You have been chosen as advocates for the concept of good.
But you will not face it alone.
Hello. Looks like we have a lot of work to do here.
That's putting it mildly.
You have questions. I will attempt to clarify our intentions.
We're listening.
In this trial, you will be accompanied by associates that we have created for you. You will confront a variety of situations in opposition to evil forces. Your actions will be judged, as will those of your opponents. The prevailing concept will guide us as a people. We shall pursue the virtues of good, or the vices of evil.
Why have you chosen violence as a means to evaluate the concepts?
We find violent conflicts produce pure examples of good and evil. They provide the best results to evaluate and judge.
And if we refuse to participate in this trial?
Failure to participate will be seen as your endorsement of the supremacy of evil. The trial will then conclude with a judgment in favor of evil, and our subsequent pursuit of the concept as a guiding principle.
Fight or evil wins by default. That's not much of a choice.
The trial awaits you. Proceed through the portal behind me when you are prepared.
Very well. Let's get this over with.
I think we need to be cautious when dealing with the Excalbians. They're a lot like Q, minus a sense of humor. Fashion sense could use a little work, too.
Indeed. Recommendations?
For now, I say we play their game and stay in one piece. Look for opportunities to swing things in our favor. Our new teammate here might have some insight into the situation as well.
Good point. Anything you'd like to add, Commander?
Michael Burnham, of the USS Discovery.
Discovery, yes. Starfleet vessel with a considerable history.
Judging by your uniforms, I'd say I'm in the future. The last thing I remember was preparing for battle with my crew, and the crew of the Enterprise. Since we're having this discussion, I'm guessing we won that fight. My apologies, my memory's a bit fuzzy. Possibly a side effect of whatever brought me here.
Indeed. Welcome to 2411, Commander.
Over 150 years. Fascinating. Right. I'll catch up later. Assuming we get through this trial in one piece. To address your original question, I wish I had all the answers, but I know as much as you do. Going through this trial will give us the chance to conduct some tests of our own, learn more about them and the situation here.
Something on your mind, Commander?
I'm sorry. That's not a Vulcan uniform I recognize.
I am not a Vulcan, Commander. I am Romulan.
I clearly have a lot to catch up on. In my time, no one in the Federation has seen a Romulan, despite fighting a war with them. I do apologize. It's just that I grew up on Vulcan, so this is hard to process.
I can imagine. I take no offense, Commander. This must be unsettling for you.
To say the least. I suppose there's a very complicated story behind all of this.
Indeed. The simple explanation is that my ancestors rejected the teachings of Surak and left Vulcan to follow their own path. After several millennia, we became what you now know to be Romulan.
I'd love to hear more, but this isn't the ideal place or time for a history lesson. Look, I want you to know, this will not affect my performance here. Starfleet teaches its officers to be open to new discoveries no matter how shocking they may be.
I appreciate your candor, Commander. Let's proceed, shall we?
Take heart, my friends. Yarnik has a forceful personality, but his voice is not the only one heard here. There are many Excalbians who would embrace virtues before vices.
It's good to have allies.
Well said. And as one of your allies here, I have a warning for you. The trials are drawn from your past experiences and records, but they will not be identical recreations. There will be alterations to test your responses and those of your opponents. Expect the unexpected.
Thank you for that information.
Please accompany me. Beyond that portal, the first trial awaits.
My tricorder's showing
Good
a
luck, my
Class M
friends.
tropical biome. By the look of things, this world is under attack. I'm reading a lot of weapons fire from several locations in the area.
This is Brea 3. I've been here before, during this battle, in fact.
This is a safe position for now, but that could change soon. We need to get to cover fast. I see a plaza ahead. And casualties. Enemy forces may be in the area.
Ready weapons, move out.
This didn't happen long ago. Some of the bodies are still warm. Some of these injuries came from plasma weapons fire. Romulan weapons.
Correct. Rebel forces are fighting the Romulan troops in the city.
Understood. You can fill me in on the details later.
Very well.
These Romulans are Tal Shiar, members of a covert military intelligence force. Their list of enemies is long. Any number of them could be responsible for this attack.
In this case, it's Riemann partisans.
This one was killed by heavy plasma weaponry. Strange. I'm also reading trace amounts of several exotic particles in the area. Antiproton, tachyon. Whoever else was in this fight used some extremely advanced weapons.
Sounds like Iconian weaponry.
Makes sense. The Iconians were allies of the Tal Shiar at this time. They were probably fighting at their side. This may be one of the unexpected changes Lincoln warned us about. Iconians arriving here early.
That's an unpleasant thought.
Those were Iconians?
Not quite. They were heralds, harbingers of things to come.
Heralds are augmented servants of the Iconians. They were used primarily as shock troops. We've encountered them before, but if they're here now, things are worse than expected. There's a tactical force field blocking our way. That looks like the emitter over there. Should be simple enough to destroy it.
Let's take it out and move forward.
So, these units, you're on our side. Good to know.
You there! I would speak with you. Your timing is fortuitous, my old friend. My resistance forces are closing in on Hakiv's laboratory, but he has opened an Iconian gate. The Iconians have sent their minions to aid Hakiv, but all is not lost. We can still stop them. The lab is not far from here. If we can fight our way past the guards, we can put an end to all this. And Hakiv.
Yes, let's find and stop Hakiv.
Looks like there's another tactical force field blocking the way. This Hakiv really doesn't want to be interrupted, does he?
Delaying tactics. Let's find and destroy the shield emitter quickly.
It may not be in an obvious place. Check the nearby buildings and rooftops.
Good point. Spread out, signal the group if you spot the emitter.
Excellent. Hakiv has holed up in the south like the cornered vermin he is. Once we're near his position, I can set up a jamming field to prevent him from beaming out. Then we can bring him to justice, at last.
You might be able to block transporters, Obasek, but I doubt you can block a functional Iconian gate. As long as that remains open, Hakiv will be able to escape. Deal with the gate first. Then you can talk about justice all you want.
Agreed. Let's shut the gate down.
Obasek. So good of you to join us today. I've dreamed of ridding the galaxy of your stench for some time. And now, with the Iconians at my side, that dream shall become a reality.
This ends now, Hakiv. No amount of Iconian or Tal Shiar scum will stop me. Blood calls for blood.
We have bigger problems. The Iconian gate is still online, remember? Hakiv can bring in Iconian reinforcements as long as it is.
Then let's shut it down. Keep Hakiv and his forces busy while we work, or this trial will end real soon. And not in our favor.
Understood. You'll have the time you need, Commander.
You think you've stopped me? The Iconians already know. They know everything.
I don't care. Blood calls for blood, Hakiv.
No, not like this. You're better than this. If you do this, it won't be justice. It'll be murder. You don't have to do this.
He must pay for what he's...
Ariete!
All right, what's the call? Help Obasek or catch Hakiv?
Obasek's in bad shape. He needs field surgery right now, or he's not going to make it. I can't do this alone. I'll need your help to save him.
Hakiv's getting away. If he leaves through a gateway, he could return with enough Iconians to finish us off. Do you want to pursue him?
We need to save Obasek. He's too valuable as a friend and ally.
Rest easy, friends. This part of the trial has reached its conclusion. There's a portal nearby. Use it to return to Yarnik. He wishes to review the results of the trial.
Very well. Let's see what he has to say about all this.
I have a proposal for you.
At a critical moment, you move to save Obasek's life. Because of this, Hakiv escapes and convinces the Iconians to pursue a scorched earth assault on their enemies. Billions more die in the following war as a result. An intriguing choice, to be sure.
I stand by my decision.
To callously leave an ally to die upon the battlefield is not the mark of a strong soul. Saving the life of a comrade in the fight against evil was a brave and noble act, one worthy of praise rather than scorn.
The trial continues. Proceed through the nearby portal when you are ready to begin the next evaluation.
Very well.
Come this way for your next trial.
Any idea where we are? I haven't seen anything like this.
Very advanced technology, alien design.
This is the Anorex, a vessel designed for temporal warfare. A Krenim scientist named Noy used it to pursue an agenda of terror. We could be anywhere, at any point in time.
Time travelers. Like Lincoln said, expect the unexpected.
This looks like some kind of command station. It's right, might be later.
My plan to recruit Admiral Lita to the Temporal Liberation Front was a success. Keeping her loyalty, however, is quite challenging. Like so many Terrans, her dreams of empire are strong. As long as those dreams remain in her reality, our partnership shall continue. The moment her dream takes hold in our reality, my reality, then the honeymoon, as they say, is over. Krog becomes impatient, despite her successful recovery of the Tox Utat and the restoration of the Nakul Star. She wants more. She wants revenge. It is tempting to use the Tox Utat on Sol, on Vulcan, on every star in the Alliance, but I have a better use for it at Procyon 5. Nakul vengeance shall have to wait. The Sphere Builders grow suspicious of my inquiries. I believe they begin to realize what my ultimate goal is, what I shall do once this war is won. Today, at Procyon 5, I will undo what the Alliance has done to them, to me, to my family. I will bring back my wife and child. All of this is for them, and no one will stop me. The petty squabbles over the Tox Utat have become tiresome. First Krog, and now Azure and Boratis. They growl and demand and threaten to depart over the artifact like petulant children. If it were not a critical element of my plans, I would have left it on Ryza, along with the corpses of Picard and his charming thief.
Funny, I've been to Procyon 5. It's unremarkable. In our time, at least. Looks like things change considerably in the next century.
Indeed. We're in the middle of the final battle in a temporal war.
And on the bridge of the enemy flagship, no less. Judging by the look of things, the battle may not be going well for this Temporal Liberation Front.
Correct.
We should leave. By now, we've been detected by their security systems. And I'd rather not be around when they send combat teams to retake the bridge.
Good point, Commander. Let's move out.
Yeah, multiple life forms formed. Nice try, but you're done here. Waste time as you see fit, You're leaving up.
History shows you have a habit of meddling in the affairs of others.
You need to read that.
Here to parley? Or shall we just start shooting at one another? So, the Alliance sends a gang of assassins to stop me once again. Predictable. Before I kill you, understand this. After today, the Alliance ends forever. Thus always to tyrants. And their rabid attack dogs as well.
I think you overestimate your chances here.
I will fight this battle again and again until I stand victorious.
I understand the need to bring back the ones we've lost.
Living in the past is an exercise in futility, Noy.
I will not be defeated. I control time itself. Enough! I will erase you all!
You can't control time. Anything time controls us.
Deep, that makes no way. It's weak minded and truth.
I'm so close, I won't let you win! Before it's ready, I will end you and take my ship back in time.
You cannot stop our plans.
No! No! I've come too far! This time I'll... make sure you're never born! Even if I have to... shoot you in the cradle!
Noy! Husband, please! You don't have to do this.
How can this be? You were lost.
I'm here now, husband.
Why? Cloud.
Because this war needed to end, Noy.
Before it consumed us all. Noy was a danger to all life, even in the Dominion. I could no longer sit back and watch as the Alliance failed to stop him. Time and time again. And so, I have done what you could not. Now, we must destroy this vessel, so it can never be used again. Let us end this war, once and for all.
Do you think that will end the conflict?
She's got a point. Without Noi, without Anorex, the TLF will lack the power and leadership needed to fight the Alliance. The war will end. And who knows, maybe there'll be a chance at a lasting peace this time. Stranger things have happened.
True.
This situation could have been avoided. He was finished. You didn't need to execute him.
That's true. The fight was over.
Maybe we can still do this the right way.
Go on.
This is a time ship. We should be able to generate a localized temporal spike and send ourselves back to a point before this whole situation goes too far. Let's finish this without resulting to cold-blooded murder.
Tampering with history was what started all of this. We destroy Anorax and be done with it.
You have chosen wisely. I am pleasantly surprised.
What now, Founder?
I have much to discuss with the leaders of the Alliance. Steps must be taken to protect the timeline from criminals like Noi. For you, the war is over. Return to your ships. I suspect we shall meet again in due time.
Very well.
I believe that will be enough for this trial, my friends. Yarnik awaits our return. He will, no doubt, have things to discuss after observing your actions here.
Of that, I have no doubt. Let's go.
Let's return.
In allowing the murder of Noi, you made him a martyr for his cause, and the temporal war continues. Noi's followers go on to destroy the homeworlds of every Alliance member in antiquity. With no opposition, they become the dominant force throughout space and time.
I believe we did the right thing, in the end.
The loss of Noi was tragic, to be certain. But the risk of losing countless more to temporal manipulation was too great. In his madness, Noi's pursuit of vengeance would have laid waste to many a world. Bringing an end to that insanity was a mercy.
Your participation in the trial has been informative thus far, but we require more data to make our decision. Another scenario has been prepared. Enter the portal when you are ready to begin.
If you insist.
This way.
This place isn't familiar. Either of you know where we are?
I don't recognize it either. Commander?
I know where we are, I just don't know when. Knowing that's gonna make all the difference here, believe me. Let's take a look at those consoles and see if there's any useful information in them.
Very well. Let's figure this out, quickly.
Science officer's log. ESA 4 was a test site for Section 31's Project Daedalus. It appears to be abandoned. The planet's atmosphere is toxic to most life forms, but we were able to establish a safe work area and habitat. We've set up a plasma reactor to power the phase discriminators will need to capture the Red Angel. If the plan works, that is. If it doesn't, this may be my final log entry. This is a recent entry, but the area is deserted. We need to know more. Science officer's log. Control found us. We fought valiantly, but Discovery wasn't a match for Control's Section 31 ships. What's left of her crashed, not far from here. Somehow, Saru and Tilly were able to transfer the sphere data to this location. But it's only a matter of time before Control figures that out and comes to collect its prize. I need to get the sphere data somewhere Control can't find it. To do that, I need the Red Angel. But the thing is, I So I can only hope that someone from Discovery has survived, and they make it here before Control does. If Tilly was here, she'd be a font of optimism. But I know what that atmosphere can do. I don't think anyone else is going to make it. Logic suggests that I take steps to destroy the sphere data before it's too late. For now, I'm sticking with optimism. As Spock would say, there are always possibilities. Everything matches up to the point where Discovery crashes. That's where things change, and for the worse. Judging by the lack of survivors present, I think we have to finish what they started. If that's even possible.
Understood.
Do you have a question?
Tell us about Control.
Control is a sophisticated artificial intelligence created by Section 31. It was originally designed as a threat assessment program, but it evolved into something terrible. If it collects the sphere data, Control will pursue a path that ultimately leads to a complete loss of life in the galaxy. We cannot let that happen.
Tell us about the sphere data.
The sphere was a life form. It was extremely old and collected a vast amount of invaluable data over the course of its life. It passed that information on to the crew of Discovery before it died. Control did everything it could to acquire the data, particularly the data on artificial intelligence. It wants that data to achieve sentience. If that happens, it's all over. Control will be unstoppable.
Let's make sure that doesn't happen then.
We were so close to this. To failure. To death. We need some face terminators at that console. Good. Now we need to prepare the state at that console. So far so good. We need to use that console to find the EMP next. Almost finished. Use that console to align the containment field. We've set up the trap. Now all it needs is the bait. Me. You'll need to go back to the previous room, close the door, and turn off the vents.
And expose you to a toxic atmosphere.
Yes. Assuming things go as they did before, the Red Angel will appear in time to save my life. When that happens, activate the trap.
Very well. Good luck, Commander.
I've done all I can with these ancient phase discriminators. We should have the power we need for this little stunt. But we're only getting one shot, so make it count. No pressure. Ready when you are, Commander.
Right. Do it.
Initiate sequence on my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Wait, abort! Do not engage. Picking up a massive surge of tachyon radiation.
She's here! Do it! Do it now!
Activate the phase discriminators. Activating EMP.
What are you doing? We don't have time for this. Discovery is gone. We have to deal with it ourselves. We have to stop Control now, or it all ends.
And now we have 2 burn-ups. This ought to be interesting. I get the feeling you were expecting someone else in that suit, Commander.
Yes. My mother. She designed the suit with my father, and used it to escape a Klingon attack. In doing so, she learned how Control ended all life in the future. After that, she used the suit to try and stop that from happening. Clearly, in this reality, that task has fallen to me.
How can we help?
Transfer the sphere data to my suit so I can take it into the future, where Control can never find it. We need to act fast. Control is on its way here now. This needs to happen before it arrives.
Understood. Let's get to work.
How? The sensor log said Discovery went down with all hands.
Struggle is pointless.
Control's using members of Discovery's crew as shock troops. That did it! It's down! Ah! Control is using nanites to take over the future version of me. If that happens, it'll gain access to the sphere data.
What are our options?
I can try to inoculate future Burnham with my own nanites. This should prevent Control from accessing the sphere data through her, but it'll alter her biosignature. She won't be compatible with the suit if this works.
Commander Burnham?
Too risky. The suit could wind up trapped here. Given time, Control could find a way to access the sphere data. We need to think about destroying the data. Purge it from the suit before Control can access it.
I could do that, but losing that data, all of that knowledge gone forever. Consider this. The means of eliminating Control could be held within the sphere data as well. Deleting it could be a fatal mistake.
We can't risk Control accessing the sphere data. Delete it.
Get ready. This is gonna sting. A lot.
Do it.
Why in
That's
the gut?
a little more than a damn sting.
Struggle is pointless.
Get it right. Resistance is futile.
She's dead. The sphere data is gone as well. Shock of removing it must have been too much for her. I just watched myself die.
I'm sorry, Commander.
Unfortunately, we have a new problem. At the end, before it beamed out, I think what was left of Control merged with some of my nanites.
Along with some of your genetic material.
Yeah, and now there's a Borg Control hybrid version of me running loose somewhere. Whatever the Excalbians are doing here needs to stop now.
Agreed. We need to get through to them. This has gone too far.
Rest easy. The trial of Esau 4 has come to an end. My apologies, friends. These events must have taken a heavy toll upon all of you. We should return to speak with Yarnik now. Let us leave this place.
I think we've all seen enough of Esau 4. Let's go.
Come on, my friends.
How quickly you extinguished a wealth of knowledge. And to what end? Your decision to eliminate the data also claimed the life of the Red Angel. Control continues to exist, and the fate you sought to prevent will still come to pass.
In your trial, that simulation, yes.
Preventing Control from gaining access to the sphere data was a just and necessary action, despite the cost. While the entity continues to exist, it is vulnerable. Precious time was purchased this day. Time that, God willing, will allow brave souls to find a way to stop Control and bring an end to its inhuman march of destruction.
I have my concerns regarding this trial. Yarnik isn't a very impartial judge, and he's clearly a prominent figure in Excalbian society. If his opinion of our actions continues downward, the situation could become volatile in a hurry. Still, it could be worse. We still have time to present our case here. Hopefully we will win some Excalbian hearts and minds in the process.
I have been informed that Yarnik and the others wish to privately discuss the results of the trials. You are free to return to your vessel, or remain here until the recess reaches its conclusion. Once that happens, you will be summoned to continue the trial. How would you like to proceed?
7, Commander Burnham, your thoughts?
As much as I'd like to see what a ship of this time period is like, I feel like we should stay here. We might have the opportunity to speak with Excalbians other than Yarnek and see what they think of all this.
True. Any insight on this trial, or its possible results, would be valuable.
I'm not as optimistic as Commander Burnham when it comes to the Excalbians. Returning to the ship has its benefits. I could use a drink. Several, actually. I leave the decision to you.
Let's take a break while they deliberate.